In this video, we will look at how to instantiate the network service using NSO's REST APIs. So I have the network service that we created in the previous video, and I will now instantiate that in an OpenStack. In my OpenStack, I have these networks pre-created. So I'm going to attach the internet connection point or service access point of the NS to a network called Cisco Internet. The LAN I'll connect to Cisco LAN, and the management service access point I will connect to a network called management. The ASA I will start up using an image in OpenStack called ASA 931, and I'll use one of the built-in flavors of OpenStack, the M1 large. For the CSR, I'm going to use another pre-created image with version 3.17.3 and a specific flavor for the CSR, just called CSR. For the internal network, I will set that up with a small IP4 network, 192.168.1/30. So with that in place, I can move over to Postman. So for this exercise, I'm going to use Postman to use the NSO REST APIs. First thing I'll show you is I'm simply going to get the devices in NSO. You can see that I only have one device, an Elastic Services controller. So with that, we're going to walk through the put I'll do to create a deployment of the network service. So starting from the top here, I will give it the name called my NS-info. I'll use a Cisco as a tenant in ESC and OpenStack, and the deployment name will be my deployment. I want it to use ESC0. The username admin is a user that is used by NSO in all the redeploys to get the AAA correct. Here I'm choosing the network service descriptor, FW router, and the flavor and instantiation level of that. Then for each of my VNFs in this, the ASA and the CSR in this case, I specify the VNF info. So I'm choosing ASA and firewall. I'm saying that it should be managed, meaning that when this device comes up, NSO will actually try to add it to the device tree. The boot up time is the time ESC allows this VM to take before it's booted. And the recovery wait time is the time ESC waits before trying to recover it in case of an error later on. Here you can see I'm specifying the images and the flavors. And for the day 0, I'm asking the Elasticsearch controller to fetch the day 0 file at this URL and store it on the file system in a file called day0config. The authentication group is used by NSO after connecting to the device. Same thing for the CSR. So here I'm specifying the parameters for the internal network, just setting the subnet parameters. And finally, I'm connecting the service access points to the different network names. So the SAPD Internet, for example, connects to the Cisco Internet. And finally, I'm setting the state to instantiated. Here it's possible to set it to not instantiated. That will load the configuration into NSO, but no configuration will send to ESC, and therefore no network service will actually be started. So what I'll do now is I'll send this to NSO, and while waiting for the result, we can move over to the NSO UI. So here I will log into NSO, and I'm choosing the NS-info viewer. And here you can actually see the instantiated my NS-info in the NS-info viewer. Back in Postman, if I now run the get device again, you can actually see that I have 2 new devices. So this is the ASA and this is the CSR, all available for day 1 configuration. Now when I'm finished with this, I'm gonna do a simple delete. So I'm gonna do a delete on my NS-info. Gonna send that to NSO. And now if I go back to the devices again, I only have the Elastic Services Controller. And you can also see that the NS-info is removed from the NSO UI. So this video briefly showed you how to instantiate a network service like this using the REST APIs. Of course, you can do the same thing through any of the other northbound APIs, CLI, Python, Java, or Web UI, for example.